hours later.
I'm on a juice, well, me and baby girl are on a juice fast right now. And we're doing it for 5 days. We started Monday. We're going to do it for 5 days. Like, I don't know how to feel right now. Like, I have energy, but I feel like I have just enough. So if y'all see me in these reactions this week, kind of like not myself, that's why. So yeah, I'm not gonna be trying to like say, see what I'm saying? That wasn't even worse. I'm gonna try not to do too much, cause I don't want to, use up all my energy of what I have left. Sup, though. Oh yeah.
I had just gotten back from vacation with a few of my friends that I've known since high school. Most of us live far away from each other, so meeting up once a year is how we stay connected. Anyway, I'd been gone for a week and was a bit exhausted and looking forward to just resting at home for the weekend before—
You can stay connected through FaceTime, Google Duo, text, direct message. If the only way y'all stay connected is by meeting up once a year, that's cheap.
I had to go back to work. When I got inside, I didn't even bother to unpack anything. I walked over to the kitchen and got a couple snacks to substitute for my dinner, then turned off the lights and laid down on the couch.
You check.
I didn't bother with the TV either. I planned on just eating and scrolling on my phone, then falling asleep. After a while, my eyes got heavy and I put my phone down on the coffee table and closed my eyes. It was late, though I don't recall ever looking at the exact time before I fell asleep. Sometime later in the night, though, I woke up. It didn't seem to be for any reason, as I didn't hear anything, but my eyes shot open and my head was in alert mode. It was a strange feeling, like something had to have woken me up to make me feel like this. I sat up and rubbed my eyes, then grabbed my phone and got up to go to bed, figuring maybe my brain felt weird about me sleeping in the living room. Walking over to the stairs, I saw the back porch light was still on. This wasn't shocking, as I'd left it on while I went on vacation in hopes to mislead any possible robbers, as it would look like someone was home.
Yeah. But I feel like robbers and other cluckies know about this, and regardless if you have the light on or not, anywhere in the house or outside the house, they're gonna be getting that ass.
Click the light off though. My eyes shifted to the back door. It was unlocked.
Okay, wow.
I immediately—
That's more than unlocked. That's wide the hell open. Oh my God. It's like you left. It's like you left it open. It's like it was just like an open invitation. Like, oh my God.
Got a bad feeling in my gut,
Yes,
staring at the door. I thought maybe I was crazy and pulled the door, but sure enough, it opened. I quickly shut it and locked it. Had I forgotten to lock it before leaving? There was no way. I checked every door and window multiple times before leaving. I went around and turned on all the downstairs lights and looked around, trying to spot anything missing, but nothing that I could notice was gone. Really unsure about the situation I was in, I went back to the door and tested the lock. With the door locked, I was able to pull it open. I looked closer and could tell that a part of the latch was broken off. There wasn't a single part of me that wasn't terrified in that moment. I knew the chances of whoever had broken in to still be in the house were slim, but I could not sleep until I was sure. This was the exact time when I should have called the cops. I don't know if I was just too tired to think straight, or if I was just really confident that nobody was still there, but I went upstairs to check the rooms. Switching on the hallway light, all the doors were closed, just as I'd left them. My master bedroom was on the far end, with a bathroom and spare bedroom before it. I checked the bathroom first, opening the door and taking a quick look. It was empty.
Nah. Nah. Check all the cabinets. Check the little cabinet underneath the refrigerator. Wow, I said refrigerator. Underneath the sink. And definitely, I'm not trying to like do too much, so this is weird because I wanna yell. I wanna, you know what I mean? Whew. Alright. Definitely check the curtains. The shower curtains. Ah! That took so much energy.
No signs of anything out of place.
My ass.
Then I walked over to the spare bedroom. I used this room mainly for storage, so there were a lot of boxes and furniture scattered around. As I walked through the room, looking behind the boxes, I suddenly heard very quiet, soft footsteps coming from the master bedroom. They went across the room and to the door, then stopped. It was as if me and this intruder were just listening, waiting for someone to do something.
Oh, shit.
The anticipation and anxiety made fear rush through my whole body. I could hear my heart pounding as I stood in the middle of the room, staring at the doorway leading to the hall. Then, I heard the master bedroom door creak open. Another second of silence passed.
Do you understand how fast your heart must be jumping, must be pumping to be in that situation? I mean, yeah, you may seem calm on the outside for obvious reasons. You don't want to alert nobody, or you don't want to alert the person or thing that's in your house. But on the inside, you probably really feel like this. That's, man, Jesus. To be in a situation, in a clocked ass situation, and you can't really move like that, and you're scared shitless, that's a level of fear that I don't want to imagine.
Before loud footsteps sprinted down the hall and a figure ran past the doorway, I just froze. Couldn't get myself to move or anything. Just completely frozen, listening to my heart beating rapidly as the footsteps ran through the house and out the back door. Still in a state of shock, I pulled my phone out and called the police.
Should've been did that.
This was one of those home-breaking cases that likely had a much more horrifying plot than just a simple robbery. Whoever it was didn't take anything. Police found no signs of someone having stayed there for long either, so they had to have broken in earlier that day. Whoever the intruder was somehow knew I was coming back that day and tried to break in discreetly so that I wouldn't notice when I got home. Then they went upstairs and hid in my bedroom all night, waiting for me to come in without expecting anything. And who knows what they planned to do if I walked through that door.
That's why you need to be strapped all the time.
I'm a 22-year-old male, and this encounter happened a few months ago.
Sus.
I live in an apartment just outside my college campus. It's a fairly nice, newer apartment building, but the surrounding area is pretty shady. I don't spend any time around there, though. I just drive down to my campus and back. I hadn't had any bad experiences before this, so I didn't ever find myself worried about much of anything. It was a Friday, and I'd just gotten back from school. I stayed late to get some
You need to be worried about everything, no matter where you at. You can be on like a remote island, or you can be in the comfort of your own home, or you can be in a nice, beautiful, most beautiful, that's not a word, the most amazing, gorgeous, beautiful place on earth, and you still need to have your guard up.
Studying done, so it was around 7 o'clock. I pulled into the small parking lot and headed inside the building. Walking inside, I went up the stairs to my room on the 4th floor and went inside, dropping my school bag right by the shoe rack I kept next to the door. I grabbed a pre-made salad from the fridge and sat on the couch to watch something while I ate. While scrolling through YouTube on the TV, a very loud, sudden thump came from the room below. It wasn't an alarming sound necessarily, but more just surprising and out of nowhere. I listened for a moment, then continued with searching for a video to watch. A few minutes later, that same sound came from below me again. I paused the video and sat there, patiently waiting for it to happen again. I was more curious than anything. After a couple minutes, it happened again, but this time it was louder and it even caused the walls to vibrate and shake. It was more obviously someone banging something against the wall, but I didn't know what or why. I waited again, but after a bit of no further sounds, I just continued about my night. I'm not sure how much time passed, but it wasn't too long, maybe 40 or 50 minutes, when I heard a knock by the front door. I was in the kitchen, which was right next to the door, so I knew the knock didn't come from my door, but most likely my neighbor's. Listening more carefully, I could hear a man mumbling something. It sounded like he was having a whole conversation with himself, just whispering and mumbling random sentences. I won't lie, it kind of creeped me out. When the mumbling stopped, I went over to the door and looked out the peephole to see if he was gone.
That's a peephole? That's a peephole? Clutch. You just cracked the door. No, you didn't. You just opened the door. Talking about you looked through the peephole. I know what a peephole looks like. That's not a peephole. You literally opened the door. Like, come on.
The dude was standing in the dark, right in front of my door. He was looking down at the knob as if contemplating whether or not to try opening it. I backed up, trying to quietly walk back to the couch to grab my phone just in case, but almost immediately, the guy banged on my door. He began mumbling again too, making me believe he was definitely on some hard drugs or something. I took my phone and held it tightly, unsure of what exactly my next move was going to be. I didn't know if he was just some harmless druggie, or if he had worse intentions, but I felt fairly safe where I was, so I held off on doing anything. After maybe 30 seconds though, the man banged on my door again, yelling something at me, though it was heavily slurred and unrecognizable. I ran to my bedroom and called the police. I didn't know what he wanted, but the fact that he wasn't leaving made me pretty scared of what he wanted. The operator said they were a few minutes out, and asked if I wanted to stay on the line. I told them I was okay and hung up.
What?
Just then, the guy outside the door started banging even harder. He was definitely hitting the door with something, as it was too powerful of hits for it just to be his hands. It sounded more like he was trying to break the door down at this point.
Nobody else hear this?
I grabbed a baseball bat from the corner of my room and prepared to hold my ground as the man continued with his efforts.
At least you got some.
This went on a while, until I saw the reflection of flashing blue lights outside the window. A minute later, an officer called out something in the stairway, making the man by the door stop. I heard them take the guy down, and I opened the front door to talk to the police. There were huge dents and cracks on the front, clearly having been smashed with some sort of hammer or even a crowbar. But what I found out next was extremely tragic and awful. The room below mine had a young lady living in it who was found unconscious due to heavy blows to the head. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to recover and passed away at the hospital.
Jesus.
Her front door was wide open with no signs of damage, so it's likely she answered the door unknowing of who was there. After beating the lady, he smashed several holes in the walls of her apartment using a large hammer that they found him holding while arresting him. The guy was heavily under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and apparently told the officers that he was looking for a stash hidden in the walls. There were no signs of anything being hidden in any of the rooms after being searched, so the guy likely just made it up in his head while drugged up. What's terrifying is that he was really close to doing the same thing to me as he did to the lady below me. I feel really bad for her, though. Probably just being nice and opening the door. No idea that her fate was behind it.
You see where being too nice gets you?
I'm a 15-year-old female, and I
relax. You see where being too nice to get you? Yeah, get your clocked up. So, all 2023, being mean as shit.
with my parents and my older brother. He's 18 years old. My parents work till late evenings, and most of the times I'm home.
What voice is this? Southern Cannibal, right? I would feel, you would think I would know all, like most of these, like the narrator's voices.
Sometimes my brother is home with me. My family used to take care of a mentally disabled person by giving him food, old clothes, and some other things.
He looked like that.
Sometimes he used to behave perfectly like a normal person. He was not that ill that I knew of. I knew him since I was 10. He had no family, and he used to live with the people that he was working for, basically cleaning and such. One evening, it was almost 7 p.m., and my brother and I were home alone. My brother was sleeping on the couch, and I heard a knock on the door, and I heard him, let's call him George for the sake of the story, calling my mother. I opened the door, and I let him know that she wasn't home. He had slightly moved in, and as soon as he saw my brother was sleeping there, he stopped and he started whispering and asking me for my phone number. I was completely shocked.
Go back.
I heard him, let's call him George for the sake of the story, calling my mother. I opened the door, and I let him know that she wasn't home.
Okay, I thought you did that. Yeah. You just opened your door wide open, like completely, like you just almost took the hinges off the door. That's how open it was. That's crazy.
He had slightly moved in, and as soon as he saw my brother was sleeping there, he stopped and he started whispering and asking me for my phone number. I was completely shocked. Why would he need my number? And if it was for some genuine reason, why was he whispering as if he didn't want my brother to hear it? I immediately felt uneasy, and I made him leave by telling him to come on a Sunday to meet my mother for whatever reason he came for. He left. Fast forward 2 to 3 months later, and I was again home alone. My brother was at my uncle's home for my older cousin for the night. My mom and dad had to go see my grandma at the hospital, and my dad would be staying there, and my mom wouldn't be back until 10 p.m.
God damn.
Now, I was in my bedroom watching some YouTube videos when I again heard knocking at the front door. It was around 8 p.m., and I thought my mom's probably back early. So I went to unlock the door.
Stop doing that. Stop taking the door off the hinges. Because that's what it looks like. That's how open you got the door. Stop doing that.
And when I did, it was him, George. He was standing there at the door with an evil grin on his face. I was about to shut the door when he said he needed some water to drink as he was thirsty.
Okay.
As I've known him since I was a child and never really felt any danger with him except the last time, I told him to wait there, and I went to grab a glass of water for him. When I came out of the kitchen, I saw he was already inside our living room standing there, and I was kind of scared and confused. I gave him the glass, and he tried to hold my hand. I was almost paralyzed with fear. He started coming closer to me, and he almost tried to touch me inappropriately when I then slapped him. He then...
He looked high as shit. He looks clucked up right now. Like he look like he on that Breaking Bad type shit. And I say that because when you slapped him, he was like, Glitch, I don't feel that shit.
Told me that he wanted to have sex with me, and and he would then immediately leave after that.
How old are you?
I was disgusted, and I told him I was going to call the police.
How?
After that, he left, and I told my mother when she came back home about everything that happened.
How old are you now?
To my knowledge, she told my father about it, and I don't know what they did to him afterwards, but I never did see him again. To this day, I still can't believe how my family took him in, and he could behave like that. He truly was a sick fuck that didn't deserve our hospitality.
I forgot how old you were, but it seemed like you were underage. Hold on.
I'm a 15-year-old female.
15. All right. I completely missed that. God damn. We got a pedophile and a possible rapist on the loose. You're getting 50 to life without no chance of parole. That's nasty. Yeah. And surprisingly, your parents left you home alone kind of often. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's their fault, that he kept coming to the house. I'm just saying, your parents are a little sus. And they should also get 50 to life. I don't know who the hell gonna watch you, but I just feel like your parents were in cahoots. Just saying. And when you home alone, why do people tend to forget to check the checklist? Like you're home alone. You're home alone. You're home alone. There's chances of somebody knowing that you're home alone. It's probably like a 70-30. Nah, probably like a 50-50. Just check the goddamn checklist. Why is that so hard? Jesus. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you, stay happy. Hey, mama. My family.